You and I know you care about your team. You really do care about your team. I hear it every day. I see it, that people, show that you care. And managers are having this type of conversation every single day. But I need you to understand something, and it may be uncomfortable. And I want you to stay with you a minute. That care that you have, if there's no direction, it's really hurting your people, it's hurting your agents, and it may already be working against them. In this video, I am going to walk you through the pattern I use over the years. And I see most managers who genuinely care but are still watching their teams become disengaged, walk out through the door, they resign. And I'm going to show you what it costs, where it breaks down, where it leads to, even that heart to heart that should happen, and it doesn't. But what it can look like when you actually practice what care and also accountability looks like. I'm Melissa, and I am the leader and founder and the leadership coach for mid-level managers. I'm the founder of Pressure Proof Leadership. I have spent over 20 years in leadership. I have coached managers across industries, across the globe, across the world. And these are managers who are navigating exactly what we're talking about today. So this is not theory. This is not textbook. This is what I've lived. This is what I've worked. So if this is the first time that you're seeing me, I want you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you're a manager who wants to lead without losing yourself in the process. I've heard it oftentimes in my leadership journey. I have heard it so many times I can't count. I hear it when leaders say, Mel, I care so much about my team, and I believe you every single time. But here's one thing that I also see. I see managers who are uncomfortable having difficult conversations, that you avoid them, and you say that is because you want to be empathetic and you want to show that you care. But then a team that the goalpost often moves, the deadlines are not met, the numbers are not met, the expectations get a little bit softer, just because you don't want to have those conversations. What actually happens is that when something breaks in the team, when your leader begins to ask questions, when it is that your patience begins to run out because month after month your team is failing, they're missing deadline, you begin to manage from a place of frustration. And you say, I don't know what happened, but it has been like built up over the years. And then what happens is that you break. The frustration breaks you, and your team no longer trusts you. And they don't know what version of you will show up at any time. You have a resignation and you said, oh, I didn't see it coming, but it's the inconsistent leadership, the lack of accountability conversation that showed you care. And I say this, care without direction does not protect your team. It leaves them without a leader. Care without protection does not protect your team. One of the most caring things that you can do as a leader is have those difficult conversations, have those face-to-face conversations. Whenever it is that something is going right, have the conversation. Whenever it is something is going wrong, have the conversation, so that you can build trust, build relationship with your team. And every single week, you can set expectations. Your team knows what's coming up. When it's actually a challenging time, the meeting doesn't get canceled. When your team knows that the meeting always happens, they will feel as though something as a standard has been set, and it doesn't just become a warning. They know that there's a place of accountability, but they also know that there's empathy, and they also know that there's care, genuine care, because you show up every single time. It doesn't matter what is happening. Now, the middle manager's playbook has a full section on how to structure accountability conversations and how to structure weekly one-on-ones that build trust instead of tension, instead of frustration, instead of guilt, right? And it's something that you can work through. Now, if it is that you have steps already, this can be an additional guide. And the link will be in the description. And here is what most leadership content gloss over. Your team does not need to feel just supported. They need to feel led. Those are two completely different things. A team without clear expectations does not feel cared for. They feel uncertainty, and uncertainty is where disengagement starts. It quietly breaks down the team. And you see it in the numbers. You see it in the numbers. So the hard conversation is not the opposite of caring. And a lot of managers think that. It is the spine, it is what caring looks like. So if it is that you struggle with having difficult conversations, you will need to go to www.leadwithmelissa.com, go to the Work With Me tab, and you need to grab the Pressure Proof Managers Toolkit. I'm just saying. If you have been leading from a place of wanting to be liked, I've been there. And I want you to know that in that type of instinct, it really makes complete sense, because nobody steps into a leadership role wanting to not be liked, wanting to be the person that makes others feel uncomfortable. Nobody even prepares you for these types of conversations, the ones that, may end up with somebody being in tears or walking away, and there's a tension and silence. But you did not take this role to be popular. You took it to lead people somewhere. Yes. And the managers who earn the deepest respect from their team are the ones who are not afraid to have these conversations. These are the ones who show up and show consistently. And you can be that manager. You can be warm, you can be genuine, you can show that you care, you can do all of that. And that's what your team needs. I want you to go ahead and subscribe to this page. I post leadership content each and every week. And it's from managers who are leading. You're done having to lead people and feel pressured. And you want a place where you stop being a people pleaser and you start leading from a place of confidence. I want you to drop a comment below and tell me one conversation you've been putting off that you need to have. Again, my name is Melissa. I am the founder of Pressure Proof Leadership. Visit www.leadwithmelissa.com and grab that guide today. Grab the toolkit, the Pressure Proof Managers Toolkit. Talk soon.